Hey, welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today we're going to do something different. We're going to do the math here, and based on the Upper Deck Series 1 release here and information from Cardboard Connection, let's try to figure out how many cases did they produce of a hobby knee pack and how many of the short printed cards there are out there. You know, I used to do this back in 2005, 2006, when the short printed cards started coming more into popularity, and it was always interesting and to try to figure out, how many cases did they produce? Like how rare was your card? Even though it was a number card, how many of them were there and, what are your odds of getting them? So in order to do a video like this, we have certain assumptions that we have to take into account. That this video applies only to hobby knee packs. I'm going to tell you right now, I've never purchased an e-pack. I've never seen an e-pack. I've never been involved with one. I never will. I've always been a hobby person and I like seeing the cards in front of me. I've talked to a couple people that I know that have purchased e-packs, and they've both told me the same thing, that the e-packs are very similar to the hobbies boxes, that you can purchase individual packs, you can purchase a box, or you can purchase a case. So when I say estimated cases, I'm referring to the amount that they physically produced in the hobby cases, plus the amount of e-pack cases that they have. So obviously the e-packs are electronic, but basically when I'm doing the math here, it's going to be applying to both, and one doesn't take precedent over the other. According to Cardboard Connection, I took the sources there, and the Young Guns per box were the same. That you found a Young Gun 1 in every 4 packs. You got a French Variation Young Guns 1 in every 120 packs, and you got a Clear Cut Young Guns 1 in every 288 packs. So both of them were the same for the hobby and e-pack. So in order to do the math in this video, basically you have to start with a numbered product and something that you're guaranteed to get pretty much every case or every box or something like that, so that you had it as a benchmark. So if you've ever bought SP Authentic, on their box they say that you find an average of one signed Future Watch auto card per box. So that's a starting point, and we can work from that. For Series 1 and Series 2, they don't do anything like that. They don't guarantee anything per box that's numbered or per case. So we have to start somewhere, and I know that opening up a bunch of cases and watching videos on cases, that every case seems to contain exclusive cards. So we're going to base our math on that and work our way backwards. So every card in the base set, 1 to 200, and every card in the Young Guns, 201 to 250, have an exclusive card numbered to 100. So that we know. The main assumption is that the cards cannot be duplicated between the hobby and the e-packs for the exclusives. So if you look down here, I have a Quinn Hughes 43 out of 100 exclusive. If I were to pull this card in a hobby pack, there's absolutely no way I should be able to get that in an e-pack. If I do get a 43 out of 100 exclusive Quinn Hughes in an e-pack, then when that card gets printed, we have a problem, because now there's going to be two 43 out of 100s out there. So the assumption is that that is not a possibility at all and should not be allowed to happen. If there is, then obviously you know that Upper Deck has overly produced this more than they should have. Okay, this video does not apply to retail products, the tins, the retail boxes, the blasters, the mega boxes. Since they don't contain any of the numbered cards, they can literally produce as many of this product as they want and not affect any production runs or any odds of getting certain cards. Okay, the one thing that is a bit of adds a degree of difficulty to this video is the clear cut exclusives. So over on the left here, I have a clear cut of Darnell Nurse, and over here apparently there's a clear cut exclusive of Darnell Nurse. So the problem is we don't know how many quantities there are of these exclusive ones. According to Cardboard Connection, it's a random unannounced bonus product, like an Easter egg. So we don't know if there's 100 of each, we don't know if there's 10 of each, we don't know if there's 50. Unfortunately, that's an unknown. So I will deal with these ones at the end of the video just to make it simpler. Keep everything straightforward, and then you can see how these ones could potentially affect the numbers. Okay, so why are we doing this? Well, like I said before, it's actually kind of nice to figure out how many of each card they produced, seeing how rare everything is, like from the Young Guns Clear Cuts, the French versions. Obviously, we know that the high glosses and the exclusive are numbered, so we know the total variations. But what are your odds of getting those two cards? Let's figure that out. And the other reason we're doing this is because, hey, math is fun. Let's use it to our advantage, and let's see if we can gain any more knowledge from this. So let's start with the numbers. Well, our base assumption, or our base that we know, is that there's 250 cards in the Series 1 set. And every card has an exclusive parallel numbered from 1 to 100. So 250 cards times 100 exclusives means that there should be 25,000 exclusive cards printed, or whatever the EPAC term is for it. Right? So there should be no more, no less. If there's more than 25,000 exclusive cards, then Upper Deck has a numbering problem. And they've obviously duplicated cards that they shouldn't have. There could be less exclusive printed or produced because they could have had production problems, and maybe those cards got destroyed. If we end up with less than 25,000 exclusive cards, it's actually a good thing. But if there's more than 25,000, then there's a serious problem with the math. Okay, so now the number of cases produced is going to be dependent on the number of exclusives received in each case. So in the past, like even starting with last year and for the last 3-4 years, every time I've opened a case, I've always gotten 4 exclusive cards in there. Either I've gotten 4 base exclusives, or I've gotten 3 base and 1 Young Gun. And it seems to have been that way, but for 3 years now. And unfortunately, though, for this year, I've only found that there's only 2 exclusives per case. I've opened up 2 cases myself, and each case had 2 exclusives, and none of them were Young Gun exclusives. And a lot of the videos that I've watched seem to only be about 2 exclusives per case as well. So, but in order to give us an accurate picture, we're going to do these as if you got anywhere from 1 to 4 exclusives per case. So if you got 1 exclusive card in each case, well, it's pretty simple math. Where's my cursor? You got 25,000 cards divided by 1 means they must have printed 25,000 cases, right? Pretty simple. If you take the number of cases times the number of boxes, that means they must have printed about 300,000 boxes and 7.2 million packs. That's if you get 1 exclusive card per case. If you end up with 2 of them, well, then the math is basically should be half of these amounts here. So that means we're going to get 25,000 exclusives divided by 2 means there's 12,500 cases, 150,000 boxes, 3.6 million packs. And the same thing will be for 3 and for 4 as you do the math through each one. So we'll give you a second to look at that. So if we put these in a table, depending on whether you get between 1 and 4 exclusives per case, you can have anywhere from 1.8 million to 7.2 million packs. Now, I know there's going to be some of you right now writing in the comments saying, well, hey, I opened up a case and I got no exclusives, or I've seen cases and there's been 6. You know, and you're going to start writing comments in the video below. Don't be that guy. I don't care. This is just an exercise here, and we're just trying to figure out a range. Obviously, there's going to be some that work with this within these numbers, some that don't, but this is just basically going to be a range here. So I think you're going to get anywhere from 1.8 million to 7.2 million, and I've highlighted the yellow because I think that's probably the more accurate number. So again, a lot of the videos I've been watching, they've all had 2 exclusives per case. If, as we go on, you start getting cases where there's 0 exclusives or 1 exclusives, then we know Upper Deck is unleashed the printing presses and they're printing more and more of this stuff. If they stick with the 2 per case, then this is basically going to be the number. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, when we talk about a clear cut Young Guns, according to Cardboard Connection, you get 1 clear cut Young Guns, 1 in every 288 hobby packs. So if we do the math, that roughly, what does that work out to? Yeah, just one clear cut Young Gun and just over 1 per case. Or sorry, over 1.25, I think is what it worked out to. But if we take the math here and we take the 7.2 million and we divide by 288, we end up getting that there's 25,000 total clear-cut Young Guns out of there. So that's all 50 players, and we're assuming that all 50 players have an equal number of cards produced. Fortunately, there's no way to verify that, as Upper Deck hasn't released any numbers. So if you do the same math all the way through the number of packs, you could get anywhere from 6,250 total clear-cut Young Guns up to 25,000. So the odds of getting any individual Young Gun, or how many there are of every individual, you take these numbers here and divide it by the 50. So that means any individual clear-cut Young Guns ranges anywhere from 125 to 500 of them, with I think the number being closer to 250. So obviously 2.5 times harder for getting a clear-cut Young Guns than it is, or easier to get a clear-cut Young Guns than it is to get an exclusive, as there's 2.5 times more. Okay, so the French variations. So according to Cardboard Connection, the French variations in hobby and e-pack is about 1 in every 120 hobby e-pack. So if we do the same math, we take the number of packs, we divide it by 120. So we get anywhere from 15,000 to 60,000 total French variation young guns. If we take these numbers, divide them by 50, the individual numbers anywhere from 300 to 1,200, with I think the number being closer to 600 of each one. So if we put everything in a summary table, you can see high glosses, there's only 10. There's 10 and only 10. Doesn't matter how many exclusives you get per case. Same thing with the Young Guns exclusives. There's only 100. And then here's the comparison with the clear cut Young Guns and the French Young Guns. So as you can see, obviously the way fewer clear cuts than there are French versions. I remember when this product first came out, apparently someone had paid like $3,000 for a Lafreniere French version parallel. And I was like, wow, that seems expensive considering how many there probably are of them versus the clear cut Young Guns. So there's kind of a summary table there. Okay, so what are your chances of pulling any high gloss? Well, okay, so we're just going to do the reverse math now. We know our range of packs. We know that there's 250 cards in the set and there's 10 of each card. So that means you got a total of 2,500 high glosses. So if we take our packs divided by the number of high glosses, your odds of getting a high gloss can vary anywhere from 1 in every 720 packs to 1 in every 2,880 packs, with I think the number being 1440. So now the numbers for the boxes and the cases is about 1 in every 60 boxes or 1 in every 5 cases that you will get a high gloss in your case, which kind of makes sense. You know, I don't see a lot of high glosses being pulled, but there's a lot of cases going on. And then what are your odds of getting any Young Gun high gloss? Well, obviously there's 50 of them times 10. And if we do the same math, basically I think at 2 per case, your odds of getting a high gloss means you'll find 1 in every 25 cases. But you could be anywhere from 12.5 as high as 50, depending on what you get there. So now let's reverse the numbers on the exclusives. We know that there's 5,000 total exclusives. We do the same math. And basically the odds of you pulling any one exclusive can range anywhere from 1 in 1.25 cases to as high as 1 in every 5 cases. I've opened up 2 cases right now and I have yet to get an exclusive Young Gun. So 1 in every 2.5 makes sense. I'm still in the same odds as I should have been. Okay, so now let's just do this one for fun. What are the odds of getting a regular Young Guns out of here in Hobby and e-pack? So again, this is only based on the number of Young Guns that you should be able to pull from Hobby and e-pack. Nothing to do with the retail, and we'll just take a look at it. So we just take we know that a Young Gun in every 1 in every 6 packs. Take that and do the math. So the total number of Young Guns should vary anywhere from 300,000 to 1.2 million. And if you divide that by 50, any individual Young Gun should be anywhere from 6,000 to 24,000 copies of that Young Gun. I think the number is closer to 12,000. So again, this is what you could potentially pull from a hobby or e-pack. I think when the retails come out, this number could be 10 times that. Who knows? It could be 120,000. Because when they print the retail again, they can print as much as they can and not affect any of their stated odds that they've told us. Since you can't get any of the clear cuts, you can't get any of the Young or exclusives, any of the high glosses, they can print as much retail, so they can print as many rookie cards as they want. So I think this number is probably more like 60,000, probably 5 times more retail than what you see for hobby, would be my guess. But you know, you never know. So now we come back to the clear cut exclusives. So again, whenever we hear the word exclusive, we think it's out of 100, but we don't know. As a worst case scenario, if there are 100 clear cut exclusives, that means there's an additional 250 cards times 100 clear cuts exclusives, which means there's 25,000 additional exclusive cards out there. And if these are sorted in the same way, when we look back over here to our summary table, we went anywhere from 1.8 million packs up to 720,000 packs, and here's the number of quantities we had. Basically, if there are as many as another 100 clear-cut exclusives, all these numbers are going to double. So our packs have doubled, and so have the total number of clear-cut Young Guns and the total number of French Young Guns out there. obviously the high gloss and the exclusives will still remain the same. So really that just affects the last two variations here. So that was my quick run through. It's something I've, like I said, used to do in the past, and just nice to go through the numbers and kind of get an idea of how many are out there. Let me know your thoughts. If I've made a math error in here, please let me know. Yeah, let me know what you think, and we can do the same thing for the photo variations and things like that, and try to see how many there are. Obviously, we'd have to figure out some numbers or puck drops and things like that. But I thought I'd just do this as something different, and just give everyone an idea of what we think we can expect for production runs. Anyways, so like I said, if the number of exclusives in a case go down to 0, then we know they're producing way more hobby and e-packs than they should be. So yeah, no, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and otherwise, thanks for watching and take care.